Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of the Collider Games podcast. My name is Dennis Den. I'm here with...
Hey, it's Greg Smith. Hello.
And yeah, joining us. You were with us one time, I think.
Yeah, a few months ago, yeah.
a few months ago. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Dorian is a little busy with some stuff going on. Josh, who, is a regular here, he moved back to South Africa.
Whoa.
He
was on the episode I was on.
Yeah. So he still will be part of this podcast, but he'll be kind of phoning in via Skype. But just,
Wow.
He no longer will be here face to face.
Well, that's nice. Thank you, the internet, for allowing that partnership to continue.
Yeah, so we weren't here last week. There wasn't that much news, so I've kind of combined last week's news and this week's news. So let's just start off with the GDC, the Game Developer Conference.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I think as of right now, it's still happening, but I'm not exactly sure why, because you have kind of the major players, right? You have Epic, Microsoft, Unity, a bunch of people pulling out and not being there because of the coronavirus scare. I know San Francisco, I think, has kind of declared like a state of emergency.
Wow, yeah. And I just saw that the World Health Order raised it from a high rate of panic to a very high rate of, which is such a strange discernment to me.
Yeah.
From high to very high.
So as of right now, as we're recording this, things could change by the time this comes out, but the GDC is still moving ahead with the conference. Do you think that's a good idea? One, if these other companies are not showing up, and two, just from a health standpoint.
Well, what companies are still on the docket, if not these big AAA guys?
I'm not exactly sure, because they're kind of just telling you who keeps dropping out. And it's the conference is set for March 16th to the 20th, so it's not tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the coronavirus thing is not going away in 2 weeks. I mean, they're talking about they're developing vaccines that could take 12 to 18 months to happen.
Goodness gracious,
more things are being discovered, more cases are being discovered every day in all different countries.
Yep. I think then to your second question, let's call it. Let's just kind of see the writing on the wall, take these companies' examples, and we can have, let's say, a Skype game conference where all the AAAs announce their titles just in their own inoculated biodomes.
Yeah, because I guess there haven't been any reported cases in San Francisco where GDC is taking place. However, they've declared a state of emergency.
It's made it to California, right?
Yeah. LA definitely. I think OC had a case. LA had a case. I think the problem with the coronavirus is that you don't get the symptoms for a while.
So you can carry it for a while.
Yeah.
And spread it.
Exactly. And that makes it very dangerous.
Although I have heard that unless you are sort of if you're an elderly person or a very young person, it just is kind of like flu symptoms.
Yeah, like a heavy, severe flu.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's, they said 1% to 3%. So let's say 2% fatality. And definitely,
which the regular flu bests by a decent margin, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is just more in terms of the way that how easy it's spreading, and also not knowing as well. With the flu, I think it's easier to tell.
Yeah,
I think the incubation period is a little shorter. So
yeah, everything is still, as you said, vaccines might be in a year. Yeah. Everything is still so up in the air and so fluid. Why risk it over video game news?
Yeah, I mean, 30,000 people are expected to attend. It's
yeah.
I mean, you have to understand, obviously this is not China where it originated, but in China, they canceled Chinese New Year. Yeah. Which is you don't understand.
Insane.
Yeah. We think, imagine someone just canceling Christmas. They're like, there is no Christmas.
Yeah.
You can't go shopping to buy stuff.
Yeah.
You can't the most you can do is get some food and go celebrate at home with relatives, but don't go outside, don't go to the mall, don't
and no parade this year or anything.
Yeah, nothing.
Wow.
So and also that was with Chinese New Year, it's not one day, it's 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and they extended it longer. So it's like people just not going out, what I mean?
Wow. I hope eventually we figure out how to cope with this, because it does kind of break my heart to see things like Chinese New Year. I think Shanghai Disney is shutting down.
Oh, Tokyo Disney.
Disney, excuse me.
No, well, I'm sure Shanghai is closed down already, but Tokyo Disney is shutting down.
Yeah, it's just we have to figure out how to keep living our lives while staying safe.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they should cancel it and or delay it, or say, hey, look,
we'll do it
at the right time.
Absolutely.
Let's do it in that time.
Absolutely.
All right, so some other news here. We've got Jedi Fallen Order sequel in development. That's something we already kind of knew, right?
I mean, it felt like a given based on just the goodwill that it sort of earned right out of the gates. I feel like everyone loved this game, maybe more than Rise of Skywalker.
Definitely. I think it got a much more positive reaction. Less people playing it than watching Rise of Skywalker, but in general, from both a critical and a fan response, it just got a lot better. It also takes place. It's funny because like the things that like have been in this Disney era of Star Wars, the things that take place like before the end of the original trilogy have been better well received. Like Rogue One. Rogue One is my favorite of the Disney era movies. I think it got the most. It's the best received by both fans and critics alike. This Jedi Fallen Order takes place between Revenge of the Sith and
New Hope.
I don't know. I think it's before Rogue One. I don't know where it falls on the Rebels timeline. I think before Rebels as well. So it's in this like really like small sliver of time. But anyways, it was very well received from both the gameplay mechanic and the story as well.
So immersive, yeah. And it's exciting. I believe it's being developed for next-gen consoles, right? The sequel?
Yeah, I would assume so. Because this game won't be coming out for another 2-3 years, Like, let's not... I think... lately we've been talking about this on the podcast. Like, let's stop this a game every like this Assassin's Creed once a year,
Call of Duty.
Like let's go back to where like people can actually miss your game, right? Like,
well, same with that is such a Disney. For a while, Disney Star Wars was like, let's do 2 a year. And now they seem to have realized, oh, we really need to take a step back and like make sure the stories we're telling are worth the high mantle that we've put Star Wars on. And
more is not always better.
Correct. It makes it less special.
Yeah.
I want these to be special.
Especially for Star Wars. And you think about the gap in times between the original trilogy and the prequels.
Oh, my goodness.
And the prequels to the sequels. Like, that's a long period of time.
Yes,
so
it
people
was.
were kind of waiting and anticipating, but then kind of just got a flood of stuff in there.
A glut.
Yeah.
Now
some
it's like,
good.
Yeah.
Some mediocre. Some not so good.
Not so good.
Yeah. But also in this report, because that was kind of a given.
Yeah.
But also in this report, they said that there was a third Star Wars
Yeah,
game.
they called it like a smaller scale Star Wars game or something like that. That really intrigues me.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that is. And then also, they were going to work on a Battlefront. Not a sequel, but like a spin-off. Did you play Battlefront at all?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
That game is very fun.
Yeah.
Very immersive.
So they were going to make a spin-off of it, and they ended up canceling it. They've been canceling it, like, they've canceled a lot of Star Wars
just in general
games.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine being a franchise so big where, like, you can sink millions of dollars into it and be like, you know what? We don't think it's going to make money, so let's just cut it off right here.
It's wild to think about. What was the 2122 was the big one, or what was
I forgot the exact number.
The sort of Uncharted take.
Exactly.
That game looked so fun.
Yeah.
And now it's just they just decided it wasn't viable, I guess. It's so odd.
Yeah, which is interesting because you have Jedi Fallen Order, which is very, very Uncharted.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think with the whatever that number is, Star Wars, it was supposed to be like Uncharted, but then also like a little darker, I think.
Yeah, which I'm into.
And maybe a little more open world. I mean, you have a semi-open world with Jedi Fallen Order, but you're not it's still kind of a linear path. You can kind of hop around a little bit, but there's just not that much like side missions or a lot to do. Where I think that game, this underworld type of game, would have had like more of like, okay, you go to a certain town or village and talk with people and whatnot.
Almost like I would love a sort of Red Dead style just in the world of Star Wars.
Oh, for sure.
Just go hang out for a while.
Exactly.
Go play space poker or whatever. Sounds great.
Also, in the news as well, Borderlands movie in
Eli
production
Roth.
with Eli Roth. I mean, are you a big Eli Roth fan?
I kind of am, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big horror head, and I think his movie Hostel is kind of an underrated 21st century horror masterpiece. He's an interesting choice for Borderlands because I don't think he's really made kind of a rock'em sock'em actioner, really. Death Wish maybe is the closest, but that movie is a bit of a misfire.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
I didn't see it, but that's what I heard. It didn't look, was it PG-13 or did
it was R.
Oh, it was R. Okay.
But the politics of it was just really kind of in this day and age, not really what I was trying to see.
Okay.
But the house with the clock in its walls proves that he can play on a kind of bigger budget, wider scope. And that movie was both critically and financially successful. So it'll be interesting to see him merge his R-rated, ultra-violent impulses with the kind of like bigger budget sort of action scope.
I have to be honest with you, I don't know if I've seen an Eli Roth movie.
Oh, yeah? Hostel?
No, I haven't
Cabin
seen
Fever?
I'm not a huge horror fan, to be honest. I think the thing I know him most for, I mean, obviously I hear his name all the time. I know he's a director. The thing that I associate him with is his role in Inglourious Basterds.
And he's good in that.
Yeah.
He is good in that.
Yeah.
The baseball, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of my exposure to Eli Roth.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this movie. But what's also interesting is Craig Mazin is going to is the person who has worked on the latest draft of the screenplay.
Fresh off of Chernobyl, right?
Yeah. So he won an Emmy for that. It's very interesting too, just in side tangents, to see, because it's weird, like when someone like, I think people are more forgiving of directors than they are writers, because like when you look at some of the writing, like you'll see like people point to like Benioff and Weiss, I know the 8th season is very controversial or whatever, but in general, like let's say season 1 through, and 7's a little like, I still think 7's good, but just not as good as, like, to me 1 through 6 are excellent.
Yes.
But then once like, the 8th season comes out and it's very controversial, a lot of people don't like it or whatever, then they go, that's the guy who wrote X-Men Origins. That piece of crap. You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot which one.
Yeah.
I forgot it was Benioff or Weiss that wrote that. But you know what I mean? Like, and so like Craig Mazin, before he had done Chernobyl and won the Emmy.
He's known for a lot of kind of not great comedies.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I think like Identity Thief and like Hangover 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is like, and then he comes out with Chernobyl, which like is this massive critical success.
Huge success. Yeah. And he's also him and, I forget the name of his partner, but they have that.
John August.
Yeah, Script Notes.
Yeah, I listened to that.
So that gets them a lot of goodwill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I'm more familiar with him from that podcast than I am, his actual work. Well, I guess I am familiar with his work because I have seen some of those movies.
Yes.
I'm still, Chernobyl is on my queue of things.
I haven't
to
watched
watch.
it yet either. I hear it's incredible.
I heard it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those like you got to be in the mood to watch. You know what I mean? Because I suspect it's going to be severely depressing.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like face melting I've heard. And
I'm sure there will be parallels between that and what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With the handling of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Because, China's been routinely criticized for the lack of information or misinformation that's going around and trying to keep it under wraps. And people are concerned that the U.S. is doing the same thing as well. So,
yeah, man. Yeah.
Because I don't know if you heard, but like with Chernobyl, Russia got like pissed off about it. And they're like, we're going to create our own TV series telling you the real story. And it was like a CIA inside job.
Whoa.
I'm one of those people who is not very fond of all these conspiracy theories that people like. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why would anyone do? Just like this, like 9/11 is an inside. Why?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Everyone's,
And we're in such an age where if you believe that, there are so many people online who will just be like, yeah, you're right. The confirmation bias of it all, the bubble of it all.
Yeah.
Very spooky.
Very big problem with the internet.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you have right now people saying, oh, the coronavirus is a man-made thing. And not only a man-made thing, it was, like, created to target to, like, take down, like, Trump. You know what I mean? So it's like you're taking it one step further. Could have been some sort of man-made thing that accidentally got in the wild. Sure, that's a possibility. But then you're just taking it to this other step where it's like it was purposely created and released to, like, tank whatever, It's like, no.
The lizard people of it all. Yeah. It's just a little much. It's a little much.
But anyways, Borderlands, I played the first 2 games. The third one that just came out the end of last year, I have not. But I know that a lot of people are... I'm not a big looter shooter fan.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just I'm looking more for, like, story nowadays.
Yes. Did you ever play Tales from the Borderlands?
No, Telltale? But I have it. I have like a bunch of Telltale ones that I like. I finished like Wolf Among Us.
So good.
Yeah. And are you super happy the second one's coming in?
Really.
Like it like rose from the dead. I mean, that thing was like dead.
Like The Walking Dead, if you will.
Yeah. Well, that one got saved because it's, it's such a known property. Skybound wanted to finish it up.
Yeah.
I played some of the first season. I haven't finished that yet. I finished Game of Thrones. I finished Wolf Among Us. I just started the Batman one.
I like the Batman one.
Okay,
it's
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I think could be successful, or what I'm optimistic about a Borderlands film, is that beyond the gameplay mechanics, it is such a cool world to live in, and the story that is there has a very particularly kind of acidic sense of humor, which I think is right up Eli Roth's alley. Yeah. So I'm sort of cautiously optimistic.
And now to tie this in, and kind of like I would say that kind of the main topic of this episode. So Sonic the Hedgehog comes out.
You got to go faster.
It's.
I've been saying it for years.
It's a success.
It's like huge success.
Like I've admitted on this show, like one. Sonic is like I've always been a Sonic the Hedgehog guy.
Me too.
Like more so than Mario.
Yeah.
But I thought when they first announced it, I thought it was a horrible idea that they did a live action.
Yeah.
I just didn't see it. Like I've just seen so many of those animated / live action. They just freak me out.
Yeah.
Like for example, Alvin and Chipmunks or whatever.
Yeah,
and like,
fully.
Those things just freak me out, and usually have a lot of terrible humor in them and just. I like this movie.
Yeah.
I saw it. I wasn't expecting to like it. Well, one, the redesign was much needed because like the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm like, look how cute he is.
He's very The eyes have it.
Oh yeah,
the huge eyes. It's all, yeah.
And then I look at the old ones. Like that's a freaky horror creature. Like that's something like you could throw into a horror film.
It's David Cronenberg's Sonic the Hedgehog. For sure. Yeah.
Best kind of fix I think I've ever seen. And then the movie itself, it is for kids. It is it's very there's nothing new in the movie in terms of like you've seen that type of movie before, but it has a charm to it.
Yeah.
The acting is good. There's a lot of humor to it. You have Jim Carrey basically. It's Ace Ventura 2.5. Like
that's fun to hear.
Yeah,
that is good news. I still haven't seen the movie. I've been meaning to, but I love Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm still, as a fan of like the cartoon series, I'm still a little like, you could have got my man Jaleel White in that role. I love Ben Schwartz, but
he works. I didn't think he was gonna work. Works. All the stuff that like was going against this movie.
Yeah,
it's a video game movie. It's a live action instead of a cartoon. The design was terrible, which they fixed.
Yes.
It just all signs pointed to disaster, and now it is. It hasn't. I don't think it is the most yet.
The the biggest grossing video game.
Yeah, but
movie?
I think it's on track to be.
It will be.
Yeah, it's just like all indications. It's like past like Pikachu and whatnot, and So the question is, with these video game movies, like obviously, I haven't finished Witcher yet, so I'm still undecided on the quality of it. But I know it was a big success for Netflix.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And we have Halo coming out on Showtime, and then Sonic actually being good and actually making money.
And we have
Borderlands announcement.
Borderlands. I think there's a Monster Hunter movie coming out from Paul W. Sanderson.
Yeah.
Who did all the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, I'm not too highly anticipating that. Even though he did do
Mortal Kombat. Which is not just my favorite video game movie, maybe my favorite movie of all time.
Okay.
I love that movie.
So, since it is your favorite movie of all time, I don't think Sonic will compare. But when I think of like just video game movies, like Mortal Kombat is like at the top, and I think Sonic is up there with
I love it.
Yeah, like it's just fun. It's just fun.
I love that.
So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to usher in a new era.
We might be in a golden age, and it might be, I've been thinking about this, the folks who make movies now kind of were born and grew up where video games were a given. They were just sort of saturated. It's not a new thing anymore. It's like we've grown up with these stories. We know what makes them work. And now perhaps the creative minds coupled with the sort of reverence for the material and the familiarity with the material will result in an explosion.
Yeah. I mean, I've mentioned this many, many times. The same thing happened with comic books.
Yeah, absolutely.
You had a bunch of people who didn't really read comic books, didn't grow up on comic books, didn't really care about comic books, working on comic book movies. And then you had these rare, the first Superman, the first Batman that did well. But then for every one of those, you had like 5 pieces of crap,
including the Superman sequels.
Yeah.
Well, some of them.
I like the second one.
Superman 2 is good. Yeah. The Donner cut. Yeah.
Third one I like, but only for like nostalgia, cheesy sakes. I wouldn't say it's a good movie per se, but it just has enough. It has bad Superman in it.
That is fun. That's very fun.
Yeah, Richard Pryor in there.
That is very fun. Yep.
But yeah, in general, you don't. And then so now we're at the age where all these people working on them grew up reading comic books and they care about it and whatnot. And also, like I said before, the studios are putting money and talent behind it. And that's when you get good stuff, and that's what they need to do with video game properties, whether it's movies or television. I mean, now you have Henry Cavill in The Witcher.
Yeah. Henry Cavill sort of like making The Witcher happen. Yeah. He's such a fan of the franchise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting to that point where it's
Speaking of Superman.
Oh. Superman?
Henry Cavill, Superman.
Oh, yeah. So I think we're kind of at that almost the tipping point, right? Where we're going to start, hopefully, cross our fingers, start getting these movies or television shows that deliver. Look, not everyone's going to be a home run.
No.
That's not like even still, not every comic book movie is a home run.
No.
But
and the more we get, the more room for sort of wide gaps in quality we should allow for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also getting different takes. I mean, you have something like The Boys.
Yeah.
On Amazon, which is like a far different take than I always mention. Like, it's like the anti-Marvel. It's the anti-MCU, and and this is coming from someone who loves the MCU. It's just not. It's the opposite of everything the MCU is, but in a good way. And so I think video games will get there at some point.
Absolutely.
As well.
It'll be interesting to see if we get a video game version of like The Dark Knight or an Iron Man that just changes the game immediately. No pun intended.
Yeah. I can see that. I mean, look at all the comic book movies that are taking, dark. You're talking about The Dark Knight. To me, Logan is up on that level.
Yes.
And you get these other ones that are more serious, and then you have other stuff that's just different. Just different. So yeah. All right. Next thing coming up, we've got. This is just a funny little story. Of, I don't think I put it in the outline.
Yeah.
But apparently, Epic Games is kind of having this open argument with this industry analyst, Superdata, about Fortnite's earnings, because Superdata has said that Fortnite has reached their lowest level of earnings since 2017.
Oh.
And so Epic Games is coming like, what are you talking about? We're just fine. That's like, bullshit. Like it's just funny because it's like with all this data or with all this data being kept secret, it's like, how do you know? Like everyone argues, it's like, but these things aren't public knowledge. I mean, this is a little off topic, but so I watched the UFC, and the UFC has pay-per-views, and they don't release their pay-per-view numbers. And so people kind of have to guess or speculate or use certain indicators to kind of guess how many they sold. And then sometimes the UFC will come in, no, it went great, right? It's like, well, then tell us the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not telling you the numbers, but trust us, it went great. And so this is like one of those things where it's like, that's what's kind of happening. It's like, no, we don't have the numbers, but trust us, everything is good. And it's like, people are always trying to protect their public image, especially because of, stock prices and
Netflix does a similar thing. Yeah,
exactly.
They just announced that like top 10 feature where they list the most popular movies and TV shows, and it's like, it's a little hard to swallow because they've been so cagey about releasing no metrics publicly. It's like, why should we believe you? You have kind of a vested interest in protecting your investment or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the lowest it's been since 2017, but you could imagine that with a lot of competition, especially in something like Apex Legends.
Yeah, Apex Legends, PUBG.
Yeah.
The new Call of Duty Battle Royale coming.
Yeah, like you would expect earnings to go down. It's a more competitive field, a more saturated field.
They also did that huge blackout move recently. I wonder if that sort of got people to run away from Fortnite, if it was too dramatic or whatever.
I don't know, but it's fun. I would just expect something like that. And then, trends too, because like gaming trends are much like movie trends. One particular genre is very popular for a set amount of time, and then it goes
and it
somewhere.
shifts. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Sonic the Hedgehog, back in the day, when I was playing my Genesis, like 2D platformers
that was
were
the genre.
The genre, right? And then later it moved on to this and that. FPSs were like deathmatch FPSs.
Yeah, like the 2000s was that.
Yeah. And then, and so every cycle there's always going to be something new.
Yeah.
Who knows when this kind of battle royale. I mean, honestly, for me, Apex Legends is a little more up my alley just because I like the first-person shooter. Not that I don't like third-person shooters. It's just I don't know if I like the third-person shooter in that type of environment.
I definitely don't. And Fortnite, for me, talking about the looter of it all, there's just a little too much like resource management strategy that is just a little too counterintuitive for me to wrap my head around. Obviously, the world disagrees, but that's just for me.
Another thing coming out, Cyberpunk 2077. This is good news, especially for me, because I'm on the Xbox. I don't know how I don't think the PS has the same thing. But if you buy the Xbox One version, which is going to come out first, when the Xbox Series X version comes out, you get it for free.
That is a really interesting way to incentivize it.
It works for me because like once it was delayed to September, I was like, well, how soon is the Series X version going to come?
Yeah.
And should I just wait for that version? If it's a couple months or 2 or 3 months. I don't know when that release date is.
Yeah.
But now like I don't have to worry about that.
Correct.
I'll just buy it on Xbox One, and then when I get Xbox Series X, and that game comes out, I will have it for free.
Now, will the save data port over to the new version?
I would assume so.
I would hope so.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But I am, because Microsoft has been pushing this. It's the first time I think I've heard from a third party.
Yeah.
Because they usually kind of push it on their own like first party stuff where like it's like, oh, if you bought it for the Xbox One, well, you can have it on PC too. You know what I mean? They just, because those are two things they kind of control.
Yep.
They don't control the PlayStation.
Yeah.
They don't control CD Projekt Red. But yeah, this is to me very good news.
Me too. I hope I am I'm mostly a Nintendo guy, but Sony's my number 2.
Okay.
And I'm definitely going to get the PS5. So I hope there is some kind of similar-ish announcement for a PS5 version of this game, because I've been excited for this game for so long, and they keep pushing it back, and I just want it to be good. Are you optimistic for the game?
I am.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. It
does.
Looks amazing. I didn't mind it getting pushed back, just like I didn't mind when Last of Us Part 2 got pushed back, because I still haven't finished the first one. Look, that's not my fault. Look, I've told it a million times on this podcast. I'll just give you the short version.
Wow.
I bought a PS3 specifically to play Last of Us because everyone said how amazing it was.
Yeah.
Got it, played it. About how long is the game? 20 hours?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Let's say 20 hours. Probably got like 5-6 hours into it. Hit a glitch in the game where it wouldn't save. Or actually, it only did checkpoint saves, no manual saves. So I got past this part with a lot of like stealth. I hate stealth. I'm not a stealth.
And the
person.
stealth in that game is very difficult.
So I would like try like 3-4 times, and I'd finally get past the stealth point.
Yeah.
And then I would die.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like,
and would it reset you back to before? Yeah. I get that.
And I was like, screw this.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on your side.
So I bought a PS4 recently.
Yeah. Did you get the remastered version?
So I bought the remastered. So I'm like, okay, now I have some time to play the remastered. So.
Yeah, and you can kind of like roll it right into Last of Us Part 2 and have like a full experience.
Good. Yeah, so, Cyberpunk 2077, that is good news.
Yes. We're kind of in like a golden age of cyberpunk video games. It's cool. But I feel like this one's going to be a definitive sort of exclamation point on the subject.
Also, at certain places, I think Amazon, Best Buy, you can pre-order it for $10 off right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good intel.
Yeah.
Just for Xbox?
I think for PS as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think it's because of the delay. They're like, look.
Yeah.
If you want to because, some people got upset or whatever.
Sure,
it's like kind of incentive, like, if you haven't gotten it yet, come on, get it now.
Come back.
Yeah. A small thing here, but big in kind of the VR world. So Facebook bought Sanzaru Games, who made what many consider to be one of the best VR games ever made, which is Asgard's Wrath. Sanzaru Games had done also, I think, there was like this Marvel Powers game.
Yeah, and they did some Spyro
licensed
titles as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so Facebook just up and bought them. They had, if people don't remember, they had bought the company that made Beat Saber, which is hilarious because Beat Saber was like started by like 2 guys, and it became the best-selling VR game of all time.
Yes, it sure did, yeah.
And so they bought that company, they bought Sanzaru. It's a whole effort to, because right now, any game, well, not any, but most games that you buy in VR that aren't Quest, but they're cross-compatible between the Rift S and
the
Vive and all that stuff. And
PSVR, whatever.
Yeah, and so now that thing, it's becoming that thing that's happening with all of them right now, which is this exclusivity thing where like they just buy these studios. They're like, you make this game, it's exclusive just to our platform. And then so I think Facebook buying them would be like, okay, Asgard's Wrath 2 will
just
now
on
be,
the
it'll just be on the Rift S and Quest or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
because they bought Oculus too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's very, from a business standpoint, I get it's happening in the streaming content world as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just such a punch to the consumer. It's such a if you want to have the breadth of VR games, you're gonna have to buy
separate systems.
It's just such
that do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm hoping like this kind of, but then they're going to do it anyways with the whole online thing, like the Game Pass. Like Microsoft's going to have their own online gaming service,
sort of like a Stadia kind of thing.
Yeah. But the problem with that is they're still going to do exclusives. They'll just do it on their particular service.
They sure are. Yeah.
Though to be fair, that will be easier to. Let's say there's a game on a particular gaming streaming service in the future that we're all on. At least what you could do is like, oh, I like that one game. I'm going to pay for 1 month, play it, and then stop your subscription. Versus buying a $400, $500 a console to play
just one game.
I mean, literally, I bought the PS3 to
play Last of Us.
I played some Uncharted as well.
Hey, while you're there.
Yeah. But that was part of the exclusivity, like price that I had to pay.
Yep, for the Naughty Dog experience. Yeah. That is interesting to think about. And I wonder if there will be some kind of like a la carte discount thing in the future where it's like you can stream one game for a slightly reduced price, but you only get it for 30 days or whatever.
I hope so.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, because
I would appreciate that.
Yeah, because it'd be like, okay, I just want to play this one game.
Eventually, we're all just going to go back to renting cartridges at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It'll all just circle around on itself. And I can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, Redbox, I think they stopped renting games, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Redbox, they're still renting movies, but they stopped renting games, which is weird because it's easier to get a movie on rental VOD than it is a game.
Yes, it is. Does GameFly still exist? Do you remember GameFly?
Yeah, I think it does. I had friends that used to work there.
Oh yeah.
But I think they do.
I never tried that, but it always seemed interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense.
Yep.
I just don't have the time. Just like Game Pass is a tremendous deal. I just don't have the time.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're paying like $10, $12 a month to play as many games as you want.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like my teenage dreams come true.
Heck yeah. Summer break in the basement.
Yeah.
Ooh, hate about it.
And now it's like I can't. There's literally I'm looking, I don't know if you know, but Division 2 right now is on sale for $2.99. $2.99. It's
That's silly.
Yeah.
That's frankly silly.
I think for the next 3 days and it's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm like, I don't know. Because I'm honestly do I have the time? Because there's so many things that I need to play.
It's just such a bulk.
Is it a waste of $3 for me? Even though I'm sure the game is worth much more than $3, but am I wasting $3?
Well, if you eventually play it in your lifetime, but then how many games like that are there?
Yeah, I have a ton.
And I like to go outside on occasion. I like to go take a walk on occasion.
Yeah.
Can't just play video games.
Yeah. All right. Last couple of things. I was, Control from Remini Games was my favorite game of last year. Did very well for them financially.
Yeah.
And they have some DLCs coming out for it.
And not a true sequel yet, right?
No. And they want to keep doing more with it, but they're not exactly talking about true sequels. And then they're also working on some other projects. One strange one is, I guess there's this first-person multiplayer shooter game called Cross X or something like that. To be honest, I just saw some footage of it. It looks like a standard, Call of Duty style game. But apparently, Remini Games was hired to do a single player campaign for
cool.
it. And so that's something they're working on.
Yeah.
And purely because that's what they're doing, that makes me more interested.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eye out for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
in general. So, yeah.
They have an interesting taste and an interesting aesthetic. Did you ever play Alan Wake?
Oh, yeah. It's actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, that game rules.
Yeah.
And it was so underrated and so ahead of its time. It's so cinematic and it's so I would love for them to dip back into that world.
Yeah. Very Twin Peaks influenced.
Yep.
Speaking
Love
of
that.
Twin Peaks, we just had Twin Peaks Day a few days ago.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Yeah.
And I saw Kyle MacLachlan recreate it on his Twitter. Perfect.
Yeah, so if you guys have a VR system, go look for our Twin Peaks VR game.
Absolutely. Get yourself a slice of pie. Enjoy it.
Yeah. But yeah, Alan Wake, loved that game. At that time, that was a Microsoft exclusive.
Yes, it was.
It was a Microsoft and PC.
I remember I had to play it on a friend's Xbox.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, should I buy it just for this? Oh.
I ended up getting it. I ended up buying it for they had a sale on the PC.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like $5-6.
Ooh,
something
that's a steal.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's on Steam right now or something.
I'm sure it is.
Less than 10.
I think the problem is the reason that I bought it was because the music license was up.
Oh, got it.
So if you didn't buy it before a certain date, the music, the music makes that game.
It sure does.
Yeah.
It's so atmospheric. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think you probably still buy it minus the music.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I think that's it for this episode. What are you playing right now?
Yeah, right now I'm playing this indie Switch game that I love called NeoCab.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it's a story dialogue driven game. It takes place in a near future kind of cyberpunk take on Los Angeles, where you play a woman who moves to the big city to reunite with her best friend, and she kind of drives for a Lyft style company called NeoCab. But it's in a world where most things are automated, so most people do self-driving cars. So she's kind of an anomaly. And her best friend goes missing, and while she solves the mystery, she picks up a lot of passengers, and you just play the game by having conversations with these passengers and sort of like interrogating them, getting to know them, learning about this interesting world.
Sounds like Oxenfree or After Party.
Yeah. I'm just having it really feels like playing a movie in the best way possible. And the soundtrack is really cool. The visuals are like unique. I can't recommend this game enough.
Nice.
How about you?
I mean, I'm still trying to get through the Telltale Batman.
Yep.
I have God of War
Mm-hmm.
and Last of Us the first part, remastered, I guess.
Oh, well, those are some short games. You'll knock those out.
Exactly. So I have those kind of sitting on the sideline I need to play.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't finished Outer World. There's just, that's the problem with games is like, I love them, but they're just so long.
They're so long. They're so big. They're all so good, but it's just so long.
Yeah. I mean, Control, I love that game from last year. I think it was probably like 14, 15 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was like a very manageable set of time.
Yep. I love a tight game. That's why I love the indie scene so much these days. They're more interested in like a satisfying, compact experience, which is what I am into.
Yeah. And you're talking to someone who like played Fallout 3 plus all the DLCs in over 100 hours. Like over 100. I mean, that is a lot of time. And obviously at that time, it was like, didn't have a girlfriend. Also, for a good portion of that time, I didn't have a job. You know what I mean? So it was like, just play away.
Your job was Fallout.
Yeah. All right. Greg, where can people find you?
Sure. Look for my byline on www.collider.com, high impact entertainment news. And you can find me personally on social media at SmithLGreg on Twitter and Instagram.
Cool. And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or Instagram, Dennis.tzng. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/ColliderGames, and subscribe to our podcast feed. That's the Collider Factory feed for this show every single week. Until next time, see you guys later.
Bye.